welcome back to The Big Picture. Right now we are joined by Kimberly Palmer, a personal finance expert at NerdWallet. And we've all heard of the term doom scrolling. When you sit on your phone for
yes, and
extended
you
period of time
away.
and scroll away. But there's also something now called doom spending. Kimberly, thanks for joining us. Talk to us a little bit about what exactly is doom spending and why do we do it?
Well, thanks for having me. Doom spending is basically a new version of retail therapy, and it is very closely related to doom scrolling. So basically what it means is it's late at night, we're scrolling through our phone, we're feeling stressed out about the social media, the news, everything we're seeing. And to take back a sense of control, give ourselves a little boost, we buy things, we shop. So basically doom spending is that reaction to feeling that anxiety or stress. And buying something can give us a little dopamine boost. It feels good. It's a way of kind of taking back control of the moment. And so that is what we're seeing people do. The downside is that, of course, it means we can spend more than we intend to. We can regret some of those late night purchases, and it can lead to overspending in general.
Okay, so I kind of think I know the signs because I might be a doom spender, but what are the other signs?
Well, the biggest red flag that you might be doom spending is when you get your credit card statement and you are surprised by the amount of charges and how much it all adds up, because it might not seem like a lot when we make a quick purchase, spend $10 here and there, but by the end of the month, that can really add up, especially if we're doing it many nights of the week. And so the big sign is that you have that bigger credit card bill because of all of these extra purchases.
And when we kind of look at the broader picture, what is, really the underlying cause of this? And for folks who might look at themselves and go, oh, this is an issue. How do you walk it back? How do you get yourself out of a doom spending mindset?
Well, it's all about finding a balance, because I'm definitely not trying to shame anyone for, the occasional late night purchase. There's nothing wrong with that, or buying the things that we need. But basically, when it goes too far or it's in excess is when we want to reel it back in. So the first step here can just be to reflect and to think, am I falling into this category? Am I buying things that I really didn't need or even want? And so if you notice that maybe you are falling into that category, then we can start to think of ways to reel that back in. Some people decide to turn off their social media apps or shopping apps after a certain time of day, or even give yourself rules. I gave myself a rule that I don't actually purchase anything after 8 p.m. I can put it in my cart, but I don't buy it until I wait and see if I actually want it the next day. And so there are little techniques we can use to get back a bit of control.
So shopping is my number one hobby, and I love to lay in bed at night before I go to bed and just be on Amazon, scrolling away and hitting checkout, deliver tomorrow. But for people that are, maybe experiencing this, maybe this is for me, how important is it setting a financial budget for yourself?
It's so important. Setting a budget is really step number one when it comes to taking control over our finances. And you don't have to necessarily track every single dollar if you don't want to. Some people prefer a more kind of big picture approach. At NerdWallet, we like to talk about the 50-30-20 budget, where basically, you want about 50% of your take home pay going to needs, 30% to wants, 20% to savings and any debt payments beyond the minimums. So just thinking about it in that way can help us get started. And we can think about, okay, how much do we have left over for some of these purchases that are extra?
All right. Kimberly Palmer from NerdWallet, thanks so much for joining us, talking about